Okay, my name is Crystal Dumas, and we are doing a mock interview for my Interviewing and Observational Strategies course for my psychology program. In this interview, I am interviewing Mike Dumas, my husband, who is coming to me because he is having problems with stress that he was trying to work out. Again, during this session, I would be doing things like trying to assess his mental status, how he's dressed, his mannerisms, things like that, which I would be putting in a report afterward. So, thank you for your time. All right. Thank you, Michael, for coming in. Before we start, I just wanted to say that everything that we say here is going to be completely confidential, and nothing will be discussed that you do not want shared with anyone else. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, I understand from the form that you filled out that you are having trouble with stress, and you were looking for some maybe ways to cope with stress better. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what some of your stressors are?
Well, first off, my wife is pregnant. I have a 17-month-old son and a 7-month-old daughter.
Okay.
The two children seem to delight in trying to tag team and make Papa run around as much as possible during the day.
Okay.
Which is immediately a problem for me. I've been hoarding calories for a long time, and I don't like wasting them frivolously.
Okay, and is this one of them?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that is...
Well, let's see here. Where do I begin? Relocated to Fort Wayne from California.
Okay.
Overnight, I went from being a white boy who spoke Spanish to being the big Mexican dude. I'm not really sure how to take that or how to feel about that.
Okay, so you're Mexican?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm half.
Okay.
So back where I was raised, I was the güero. I was the pale face who spoke Spanish pretty well. Out here, I'm that big Mexican guy.
Okay. Okay. How does that make you feel?
Most of the time I'm pretty okay with it. Although sometimes it gets rather annoying when I make a social faux pas. The neighbors look at each other and go, "Oh, he's Mexican. Oh." Then I would kind of like to thump them all in the face.
Okay. What do you do instead? How do you feel about that? Like, have you approached them about that?
No.
Okay. And do you often want to hit people in the face?
Define often. I mean, compared to who?
Let's see. We'll get back to that. Okay, so you have a lot of children that are fairly young and more on the way. And are you working or in school?
I'm going to school full time.
Okay. Okay, and are you working?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what are you going to school for?
I'm currently going for an associate's degree in business management, hospitality administration.
Okay, and how is that working out for you? How are your classes doing?
Overall, fairly well. I try to take online classes and I'm having some difficulty adapting to that particular style of school. Mostly, the fact they throw a book at you and, teach yourself and do the work.
Okay. Okay, so what are the adverse reactions that you're having to the stress that you have on your paper?
Well, I find myself eating when I'm not hungry just to feel like I'm doing something. I'll eat an entire bag of chips without even realizing I'm eating just because I'm mindlessly sitting there staring blankly at a TV.
Okay.
And, well, there goes that bag of Doritos.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm having trouble sleeping.
In what way?
I can't relax. I find myself being restless and agitated. I find myself getting up 2 or 3 times a night to make a circuit of the house, make sure there's no fire breaking out in the kitchen, the oven's off, doors are closed and locked.
Okay. And is this checking of items in the house something you normally do?
Well, normally I would do it once before I go to bed, just as a precaution.
Okay, so you're almost compulsive about checking them more than once now.
At times.
Okay, and is this little one keeping you up at night at all?
For the most part, no. Unless she's sick. But it doesn't matter. I find myself waking up and checking on her whether she's fussing or not.
Okay. Okay, and how are you trying to cope with all of these stressors right now?
Let's see here. I do a lot of deep breathing and counting to 10. To be completely honest, I play WoW and take out my aggression on pixelated avatars of other guys from the opposing gang.
Okay, so when you want to stomp somebody in the face, you do it in a video game?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless I feel particularly aggressive about it, then I play Halo Reach and club some people to death.
Okay, but you're still doing it on video games and not people?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, does it mean I'm crazy if I visualize the guy at the grocery store on the guy's face when I'm clubbing him?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay, good. I've been worried about that.
Not necessarily. We can get into that more later as well in future sessions. Okay, so it looks like you have a full plate with a lot of babies in school. Is your wife working or is she in school?
My wife is currently working.
Okay.
She's teaching at God knows how many colleges right now.
Okay.
And going for a PhD in psychology.
Okay. Now, what made you move out here from California?
There were better internship opportunities for my wife out here.
Okay. So for work.
Work, school.
Okay.
She
Now,
moved out here for work, school. I moved out here because we're married.
fair enough. Okay, now, were you originally from Mexico, you said? Or, I mean, from California, but you're half Mexican, so...
Yes, my grandparents are from Mexico.
Your grandparents, okay. And are they from did they move to California, or are they still in Mexico?
No, they live in California.
Okay. Let's see. Can you tell me a little bit about your family back in California? Or did they move with you in Indiana?
No, my family still lives in California. For now.
Okay.
My parents are in the process of losing their home.
Okay.
The jury's still out on whether we're going to get, my wife and I are going to end up with, let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 7 house guests.
Okay.
Ready or not, here we come.
So let's see, if you're having 7 house guests, and then you have your wife and yourself, and then 3 babies?
2 babies and 1 on the way.
That's a lot of people. How do you feel about that?
Well, they're my family. I want to help them. I'm not particularly happy about it. Last time my wife and I lived with my family, we had non-stop drama the entire time. People fighting over food. People fighting over, oh, you ate my Fruit Loops instead of your Rice Krispies. It was ridiculous and retarded, and I'm not really looking forward to having it in my house. Furthermore, when we lived with my family the first time, it was in my parents' home. So there was a lot of stuff that my wife in particular, who got a lot of flack from her in-laws, I'll say, or certain of her in-laws, was forced to put up with, and I was forced to tolerate certain behaviors because it was not my house and it was not my home. I am really not sure that my family, that is my mother, my father, my brother, and my sister, and I will still be on speaking terms if they come out to my home. Because there's a lot of bullshit that I'm not going to put up with under my roof.
Okay. Such as the fighting over cereal?
Fighting over cereal, constant disrespect, this aura of entitlement that certain of them seem to have. My brother's a pothead who's lost several opportunities because he won't quit smoking weed, even though he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have income. I don't know how he affords to get the weed. I kind of shudder to think what he's doing to get his fix. and find it pretty ridiculous that, I mean, I guess small favors, he's addicted to marijuana, and I don't understand how that works, because according to all the research I've done on the subject, marijuana isn't addictive.
Okay.
But that will not be tolerated in my home. I don't want that around my children.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like you have a lot of stressors and potential stressors coming in.
Mm-hmm.
What are ways that you were combating the stressors going towards your future potential stressors of your family coming in? How did you try and reduce those stressors back in California? And did they work for you?
In California, I hid in my room when I was at home.
Okay.
And encouraged my wife to do the same.
Okay.
I left as often as I could, stayed gone for as long as I could, and when I came home, I was predominantly either playing my computer on my own or watching TV in the room with my wife.
Okay.
I tried to avoid contact.
Okay.
In a vain attempt to keep from getting, to prevent being drawn into any inter-scene political maneuvering style drama.
Okay.
I don't like drama.
Have you tried confronting any of these?
My family?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How did that go? And can you give me an example?
Mixed results. For the most part, it doesn't solve anything.
Okay.
I've had verbal and physical confrontations with my brother. I have had verbal confrontations with my sister where she threatened physical violence from her husband, and he kind of failed to come through on that one, which more's the pity.
Okay.
It all depends.
Okay, with the verbal confrontations, were they resolved successfully?
The only resolution we ever really came to, that I was ever able to come to with my brother and my sister, was mind your business and leave me out of it.
Okay. Can you give me a specific example of that? I guess, please elaborate on the mind your business. What do you mean by that? Was it him doing drugs that you were trying to change, or him trying to change something you were doing?
Mostly with my brother, it was certain behaviors that were being displayed towards my wife. My wife was made to be a scapegoat for almost every problem that we had in the house. You had people with this ridiculous notion that all the problems in the house started when my wife arrived, which is, trust me, that's bullshit.
Okay.
I was there. I saw it. It was the same crap. The pile was a little deeper, and it was a different day, but it was the same nonsense.
Okay.
But it seemed that my wife could do nothing correctly.
Okay.
And mind you, my wife did have some stuff she needed to work on. There was some stuff that she was doing that would really, we had some culture shock going on and different personality types in the house. And like I said, there's 9, 10 people in the house. There's going to be inevitable conflicts.
What do you mean by culture shock?
The area I lived in was predominantly Hispanic.
And your wife is not Hispanic?
No, my wife is not Hispanic.
Okay.
My wife says she's part Indian, but she's pretty much as white as you're ever going to find.
Okay. Alright, so she had problem adapting to your culture, which was the Hispanic culture?
Ish.
Okay. Do you have an example?
We're Americanized, but we were heavily influenced by the Hispanic culture.
Okay. Because your mom is Mexican.
Yes, my mom is Mexican.
Alright. And are you feeling the same culture shock coming out here? I know you addressed it a little bit earlier, saying, you know, you were the big Mexican guy. Do you have any other examples of cultural rifts out here as opposed to back there for yourself?
A lot of the area I grew up in was not as polite